Welcome to Transport Vlog. My name is Paul and I'm back at Central Station. It's Sunday the 13th of November 2022 as I'm recording this, and part of Central Walk and part of the Metro Concourse has opened. So I'm going to show you that and then give you a general update on everything else that's happening here at Central Station. So the southern part of the western side of Central Walk has now opened, and this includes the new escalators to the south sides of platforms 16 to 23. It doesn't include the new lifts and north escalators, which will open with the rest of Central Walk probably in the first half of 2023. And to connect Central Walk to the northern concourse, a temporary passageway has opened up within the new Metro Concourse. More on this later. I'm going to start my tour just here. So this is the eastern suburbs concourse heading north, and the Central Walk entrance is on the left. All the new signs are up in this direction and in the other direction as well. The white hoardings on the right cover up the northern section of Central Walk, which includes the lifts and the north escalators. So this is just under half the width of what Central Walk will ultimately be, and at around 9 metres wide it still feels very spacious compared to the existing passageways. When fully opened, Central Walk will be 19 metres wide, and it's about 80 metres long. The tracks are above the white ceiling panels, which continue to the sides, and the sandstone coloured panels mark the exits to the platforms, with the south escalators on the left and the lifts, which are not yet in use, over on the right. Lighting separates the white and sandstone coloured panels, and the white panels include these black strips for additional lights and for CCTV, and these are the same design as the new canopies for platforms 12 to 14. The inspiration for the sandstone coloured panels comes from the original sandstone buildings within Central Station. However, the material used is not sandstone, it's glass reinforced concrete. Just beyond the platform 16 and 17 escalators is where Central Walk finishes, and this passenger has just entered the temporary passageway within the Metro Concourse. I'll cover this soon, so keep watching. Now looking in the other direction, so facing east. This was just before 9 AM on opening day, and this is probably one of the only times that you'll ever see Central Walk completely empty. Okay, time to ride some escalators. Going to start with the platform 16 and 17 ones. Notice the tactile area on the approach. These help visually impaired people know when they are close to an escalator. Now this is history in the making, as platforms 16 to 23 have never had escalators until now. The edges of the steps are marked in yellow, and lighting above the stairs and on the handrails helps improve visibility. And now approaching platforms 16 and 17 in a way that has never been done before. And at the top is another tactile area on the platform surface. Now returning on the platform 16 and 17 down escalator, and you can see the white panels along the top of the escalator shaft, and then the sandstone coloured panels on the sides below. Now in view is the platform 16 and 17 lift shaft, and through the windows you can see the wooden boards that mark the location of the north escalators. And these are the wooden boards that you just saw, and part of the unfilled escalator shaft with the bare concrete supporting walls. Let's take a look at the lift for platforms 16 and 17. The Central Walk entrances for all lifts are on the other side, so facing north, and that's one of the reasons for them not coming into service at this time. The lift itself is clearly visible and looks pretty much finished, and both the lift shaft and the skylight above bring natural light into Central Walk. At platform level, the lift entrances will be on the south side, so that's the opposite side to Central Walk, with the skylights surrounding the lifts on both sides. And looking into this lift shaft, you can see the top of the lift itself. Now for the escalators for platforms 18 and 19. All escalators have several emergency stop buttons, and these are clearly indicated. All platforms have now been resurfaced at the southern end. And the resurfacing extends to the north sides of the new lifts. And work continues to resurface the platforms at the northern end. Now coming back down. The partial opening of Central Walk has added another 7 escalators to Central Station, so that's now 17 escalators in total. Want to know where the other escalators are? Then watch this video appearing on the top right now. Through the lift shaft, behind the reflection of these south escalators, it is possible to get glimpses of the wooden boards that are where the north escalators will be. From platforms 18 and 19, you get a better view of these wooden boards that mark where the escalators will start to descend. And here is the lift, with the lift entrance on the south side. And from Central Walk, you can see the lift stranded in mid-air, and people walking on the skylight above it. From Central Walk, the platform 20 and 21 escalators look the same as all the others, so here is a trip in the down direction. These glass screens on either side and on the rear provide protection for passengers waiting nearby. The escalators have a distinctive droning sound which I've not noticed before. Perhaps it's normally drowned out by the sound of passengers and trains. These huge beams on either side are supporting the platforms and, more importantly, the tracks. With the higher white ceiling over the central area of the platform and the much lower ceiling covering the platform edges and the tracks. And now you can see the two north escalators through the lift shaft. And here is how they are looking from platforms 20 and 21. As you can see, these are much further advanced than the ones for platforms 16 to 19. And now the top of the lift with all its inner workings. And the lift entrance door on the other side. And now this lift from Central Walk with the covered up skylight. For platforms 22 and 23, there was only space for a single escalator at the south end. It's currently running in the down direction, although I'm sure this and all other escalators can operate up or down. You can see that space has been allowed for a second escalator in the future. This would only be possible if platforms 22 and 23 were widened at this end, but this is good forward planning. Now, I could have been the first person to try and walk up this down escalator, but I decided that I'm getting too old for that now. The white panelling covers the area for this one escalator only, but then on the right you can see that the wall is wide enough for the second escalator, with this metal panel marking where the future escalator would go. And looking through this lift shaft, you can see that the north side has two escalators, as the platform is wider at that end. This is how they look from platforms 22 and 23. And from the other side you can see the Central Walk lift entrance too. And here is the lift shaft with the entrance on the south side. No sign of the actual lift as yet, but instead some cool views down to Central Walk. And now looking up from Central Walk. At each escalator exit is a next train display that can also display other information. And these black platform numbers are temporary and will soon be replaced with the permanent ones, which I'm hoping will be the much larger ones seen in the artist impression images, although they won't be backlit. The escalators can be set to slow down when not in use to save power, as you can see with this one going up. So now moving on to the temporary passageway through the new Metro Concourse, but I'm going to show you this from the northern concourse side, so that's here on the map. So when coming down the escalators from platforms 1 to 12, the Metro Concourse and temporary passageway will be on the right. And if you're coming through the Eddy Avenue entrance, it will be more or less straight ahead. But before you go down the steps, take a moment to enjoy the artwork on this wall. It seems to represent clocks, time, and perhaps travel and time zones, and I think this piece represents the Central Station clock tower. And at the end, there is indeed a heritage clock with Roman numerals. If I was doing secrets of Central Station, which I'm not, but I will do in the future, then this clock would definitely get a mention. But don't rely on it to catch your next train, as it seems to be frozen in time. At the moment, the Metro Concourse and temporary passageway is accessed via a set of stairs, 18 steps in total. This is looking back towards the northern concourse. Notice how the sandstone coloured wall on the left seems to blend in nicely with the original station buildings. So this temporary passageway enables passengers to access Central Walk, while work continues on the Metro Concourse above and to the sides. Now I'm loving the blue carpet, but I don't think this is going to be a permanent thing, unfortunately. I believe it's there to protect the permanent flooring below whilst work continues, but if you have any other ideas on its purpose, do share this in the comments below. Now the ceiling along here is temporary, And if you look up at certain locations, you can see the roof, which is much higher. Through these gaps in the ceiling, I saw one of the sandstone coloured walls, natural light coming down from platform 12, familiar black strips with ceiling spotlights, and glimpses of one of the north escalators for platforms 12 and 13. These were really difficult to get on camera, so do look up if you come to Central Station and walk along this passageway. This photo, taken in August 2022, gives you a sense of the size and shape of the future Metro Concourse. Now continuing along this passageway, as it goes around to the left and becomes a little wider, it then bears left again and joins up with Central Walk. So one important thing to mention is there is no lift access yet, so it's stairs only for now. And that's because these lifts are on the other side of the temporary passageway wall. And looking over the hoardings on the left are some views of other parts of the Metro Concourse entrance, including some sandstone panels and further stairs. Now let's take a look at the new Chalmers Street entrance and the eastern section of Central Walk. The main visible change at the Chalmers Street entrance is the start of the canopy over the street, which is connected to the concrete pillars. Not much to report on the Randall Lane side, except for the now familiar sandstone panels on the south side wall. And you can see these same panels on the north side wall as well. At the moment, you can observe what is happening below ground from this location within the eastern suburbs concourse, as there is a small gap in the fencing here, which is enough to see these 3 new escalators that have gone in within the last month. That's these 3 on the map. Passengers will use the upper 3 escalators from the Chalmers Street entrance and then do a 180 to access the lower escalators to Central Walk. Let's see if we can spot these. Just here is the base of one of the upper 3 escalators that lead up to the Chalmers Street entrance, and from here you can see the base of the other escalators more clearly. And the large lift shaft for the 2 lifts is over on the right, and these can be seen from the Chalmers Street entrance as well. Let's take a look at the newly rebuilt platforms 13 and 14 that sit on top of the Metro Concourse, along with platform 12, which is also getting quite a makeover. The Metro Concourse has now been fully covered over, and this has allowed the completion of platforms 13 and 14, along with the track bed which now has the bottom ballast. Platform 13 is on the right, with platform 14 on the left. Notice how both platforms curve slightly to the right at the southern end. This is to avoid the services building, which is along here, and to make it easier to join the existing platform 11 and 12 tracks. The platform canopies are pretty much complete and the overhead wire gantries have gone in. This is the newly reinstated platform 13 with platform 12 over on the right. This was how it looked on the 16th of November. Platform 12 remained open during the Sydney Metro construction, but was dramatically reduced in width and became the platform of last resort, with just a few morning and evening peak trains using it. Behind this hoarding are the 2 north escalators that will go down from platforms 12 and 13 to the Metro Concourse below. Between the north escalators, the lift and the south escalators are these skylights that will allow natural light to filter down to the Metro Concourse. Notice the original Central Station sign that has been reused. Here is the lift shaft for the platform 12 and 13 lift, and behind these hoardings are the 2 south escalators that also go down to the Metro Concourse. The seats are already in place, and the bins too, and here is the original Central sign again. Here is a view of platform 13 looking north towards the buffers. Notice the slight curve. And now the end of the canopy with its Star Trek Enterprise look. And beyond the canopy, the majority of the island platform is now open, and you can see more of the platform 13 curve. And the services building has become a useful place to attach an overhead wire gantry. These turnouts have been in place for a while now, and this line will soon lead into platform 13, with this one going into platform 14. Now let's take a look at platform 14, including progress on the escalators and lift. From the south end of platform 16, you can see platform 14 and the edge of platform 13 as well. Here is the lift shaft with all the lift mechanisms now in place. Now for some on-train footage. This was taken on the 12th of November. You can see the new concrete surface on platform 14, but these new blackboards are hiding the south escalators. So here is how they looked on the 23rd of October. Now back to the 12th of November, and behind these blackboards are the same skylights that you saw from platform 12. Platform 14 is now waiting for the final tiled surface that has been applied to platforms 12 and 13. Now approaching the 2 north escalators. These now have handrails and the glass sides added, so they look almost ready to go. This sign caught me out. I didn't realise the southern tunnel was closing permanently, so in case it doesn't reopen, here it is on video starting from just beyond the platform 16 and 17 stairs. This was on the 12th of November, so the day before it closed. Okay, I need some extra propulsion to cover this more quickly. Coming up on the left are the stairs to platforms 10 and 11, which had already been closed. And now the stairs to platforms 8 and 9, which had also closed. So if we don't see you again, Southern Tunnel, then rest in peace. The stairs to platforms 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 were still open, and I decided to exit via the platform 6 and 7 stairs. After what seemed like an eternity, you can now sit down and have a leisurely coffee and a bite to eat. And with the central food market also reopening, it feels like this part of the station has got its mojo back. So wrapping up this video in the old Central Station booking hall, this is now the Eternity Cafe that has recently reopened. So if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, give it a thumbs up, do leave a comment or question below, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and also consider supporting me on Patreon. There's a link with further details in the description below. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you in the next one soon. Bye for now.